What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Fixer gameplay, and today we're going to be talking about the Devotion. Was the Devotion buff needed? Let's head over and let's talk about it. So this is the Bounce House update patch notes, and as you can see here for the Devotion specifically, they increased the headshot damage from 80 up to 86 and the body shot damage from 47 up to 49. So overall, these aren't like super aggressive changes to the weapon. You're increasing the headshot damage by 6, you're increasing the body shot damage by what, 2? So it's not a very significant change. I mean, you're still accomplishing the same thing with the Devotion. Where it breaks the game is whenever you factor in Crackshot and whenever you factor in Fixer's ability, right? That's where it starts like getting into that breaking the game territory. Now with Legendary Crackshot, you are doing 99 damage to headshots, right? At almost any range with the Devotion. I think it has an unlimited range once you upgrade it so far. So you are getting the 99 damage, which is a 2-tap, which is not any different than a 2-tap whenever you don't have Crackshot. So Crackshot to me is a perk that needs to go the same way of Gunsmith and just be reworked completely or taken out of the game. That's a whole different topic. I may touch on that next week. We'll see. But Fixer's ability, right? That's where it breaks it, because whenever you have Fixer, he has Crackshot now, because we thought that was a good idea to put Crackshot back on Fixer. So whenever you have the ability popped, you're doing like 114 damage. And you're bypassing, well, you're not bypassing, but you're splitting that damage between armor and to HP, right? And either way, it still feels bad, right? Because whenever you're able to one-tap someone with the Devotion, with Fixer specifically, then that's kind of a cheeseball move. I've been running it a lot lately just to kind of see how it actually feels and what the actual success rate for something like the Devotion with that one-tap potential actually is. And I think that they need to look at the Devotion overall and that they need to make a couple of changes with it. And first, I'll address this. The Fixer ability, it does not work all of the time. Like, you will hit those sensitive areas and you will get those fancy damage numbers, and it will be the same, if not less damage than you would get whenever you are not using the ability. So first of all, something's broken with Fixer's ability, right? And that's a whole different thing, but you can see it. You shoot someone in the head, you get the fancy damage numbers, and it does like 80 headshot damage, you know, and it's like, bro, I get 86 headshot damage when I'm not using the ability. Yet sometimes you won't even hit anywhere near their head, and you will get a very high damage output on them with the Fixer ability pop. So I don't really understand what's going on with Fixer. He's kind of bugged right now. It's a weird situation with him. But for the Devotion specifically, I've been using it a lot. Now, the Devotion does have a more steep learning curve compared to the rest of the DMRs. When you look at the entire DMR category as a whole here, you have the likes of the Aaron, Bishop, D3DI, Mamba, and the MXR. Now, they've went in there and adjusted all of these weapons, except for the Devotion, to the point where you can fire them almost as fast as you want to, right? The only restrictions that you realistically have is the Mamba, which is 3-round burst, and the D3DI, which has a slightly lower fire rate than the MXR. But with the MXR, Bishop, and Aaron, you can fire those weapons as quick as you can pull that trigger. As quick as I can press this mouse button, I can fire them. So the Bishop can fire just as fast as an assault rifle. The MXR can fire just as fast as an assault rifle. The Aaron can fire just as fast as an assault rifle and have a higher damage output. So the outlier in this entire situation, and the D3DI, it fires significantly faster than the Devotion. It's a 2 headshot down weapon as well, just like the Devotion. And the body shot damage on it, let's see, what does it do? It does 42 body shot damage, right? So you're still looking at having to 3-tap people whenever you have the Devotion that is a 3 body shot weapon, 2 headshot weapon. Why would you run the Devotion over the D3DI? The D3DI has a much faster firing rate, so why would you run the Devotion? And I can't answer that question. I have no idea. The Devotion is kind of an outlier weapon. Does it need to hit hard? Sure, why not? Should it be the DMR equivalent to snipers? Maybe. I'm not 100% certain. It does require a little bit more skill to use, especially if you don't have the weapon upgraded to where you get that faster fire rate. So if we're comparing the D3i directly with the Devotion, the D3DI itself has a 3.33 fire rate, whereas the Devotion has a 2.22. So you've got a whole one that you're not firing, and you're doing the same amount of damage output realistically, right? So of course you're going to prioritize the D3DI over the Devotion every single time. So I think buffing it was it the answer? I'm not sure, because the Devotion either needs to be reworked or the D3DI needs to be reworked. One of the two, because you can do the same thing with the Devotion as you can with the D3DI, and you can fire a lot faster with the D3DI. So what do? I'm not sure. But that's where I'm at with the Devotion. Is it broken? I don't think it's necessarily broken. There is a very large, very steep learning curve associated with the D3DI. 110%. So I think that is where, its primary drawback comes from. Whenever you can play with something that fires faster, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So that's where I'm at with it. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's just a thing that exists. It sucks that it breaks on Fixer. It sucks that it does 99 headshot damage with Crackshot. At that point, buff it up to where it does a 50 flat damage with headshots. You're still having to 2-tap people without Crackshot, but whenever you have Crackshot, you can 1-tap someone with the legendary. That might make it a little bit more viable. At least you're having to invest money into getting that one-shot headshot down potential. But I don't know, it's just kind of a weird situation. But be sure to let me know what you think. Like, this is one of those changes where, like, I'm kind of on the fence about it, because whenever you compare apples to apples here, the D3DI does everything that the Devotion does, but better. So it's one of those changes where it's like, nerf the D3DI. We've been saying that for forever, right? But like, nerf the D3DI and make the Devotion that much more powerful. But be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on the Devotion? What are your thoughts on the Devotion having very similar stats to the D3DI? Be sure to let me know what you think. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays and also on Sundays, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you are interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.